You know, just a few seconds from now, it'll be about 10 minutes till the ball drop, and you can feel it in the air. There's a buzz. You hear that sound? They know it's going to happen.
With the turn of a new century, a new era of combat is born. The German Bundeswehr begins to see a huge omission in gear and training between the standard infantry and their current Special Forces unit, the KSK. These stark differences quickly call for a change in structure. In 2007, the EGB would be established, standing for the FschJgRgt des Heers mit erweiterter Grundbefähigung, in English being the Specialized Army Forces with expanded capabilities. The EGB was created to be a bridge between Special Forces and infantry by receiving, if you couldn't tell by the name, expanded capabilities within their training. The EGB is found in both fallschirmjäger units 26 and 31. Both these units mirror each other in structure and purpose. Today on this channel, we discuss the one-to-one loadout of a member in Unit 31, along with the clone-correct G36KA4 and P8A1. As a disclaimer before this video really begins, nowhere in this video, or outside of it, do I claim to be a member of the EGB or anyone else in the FschJgRgt or Bundeswehr. This video and loadout is meant to show what is used by the EGB in the most accurate depiction out there. That being said, in the description I have included timestamps for each talking point since there's a lot of information to unpack. Why? Why would I spend so much time making such an accurate loadout of a niche European Special Forces group? Well, you see, I think I have this thing where I need everybody to think that I'm the greatest. Honestly, we just had the same combat shirt, and I assumed I had almost everything else. Boy, was I wrong. What you are seeing here today took me almost 6 months to fully assemble, with another 5 months of recording. One of the most notable features of the soldier's kit is the use of the UF Pro combat system. It was this exact system that first caught my eye, especially after I had just gotten my hands on a new top myself. The combat top he's wearing is a UF Pro Gen XT combat top. It's got the distinct look, the solid gray mesh belly, molly sleeves, extremely soft Velcro fabric. This soldier seems to be wearing it in almost every photo I found. As to the pants, in the initial set of photos, they appear to be the Striker X combat pants. And let me tell you, these pants are easily the most comfortable combat pants I've ever worn. Not only are they built for performance, but they also don't sacrifice comfort. However, we run into a bit of a puzzle when it comes to his uniform. Based on the dates of these photos, this soldier has been in the EGB for at least 2 years now, and let's be honest, it'd be pretty disgusting to wear the same uniform for that long without a change. Also noting that the UF Pro is not issued. Obviously, that's not the case here. In these two photos, which are almost certainly of the same soldier, you can see him wearing the issued Einsatzkampfhose and the Einsatzkampfblouse, which are part of the standard issue uniform. To stay as close to his gear as possible, I've made sure to get that exact same set he's wearing here. But there's one more key change to his uniform. If you look closely, in these 2 additional photos, he's switched to the newest Gen UF Pro pants. Unfortunately, I did not replicate this version of the pants, but they are visible in these photos, and while it's subtle, it's still a noticeable upgrade. Now, the uniform wasn't the only private purchase item on this kit. The helmet worn by the soldier is a high-cut helmet, likely a clone of an Ops Corps XP style. Straying from the issued Rheinmetall Galvian, many EGB members have gone out of their way to purchase high-cut helmets like this one. The helmet cover comes from the brand Best Protection, a gear site that seems to stock many privately purchased items of the EGB. Outside of the one-to-one, this has been one of my favorite 5-5 helmet covers I own. I honestly prefer it over the Hexonian ones. The placement is a bit unconventional, and there's an interesting detail with the night vision counterweight. It's mounted upside down. This soldier is using what looks like an Ops Corps multicam counterweight, but given the other gear purchases from the EGB, it wouldn't be a shock if this was a reproduction piece. Now, something that might seem to take away the validity of this being the most accurate kit would be the Comtac rail adapters. If you're a gear nerd like me, you might have noticed that these Comtac rail adapters are actually a Chinese knockoff. Peltor doesn't make these in Coyote, so it's a bit of a surprise to see them here. But yes, these exact adapters are part of the setup. And yes, Amazon played a key role as to making my kit as accurate as possible. Moving down, you have the crown jewel of the kit, in my honest opinion. These are the Bundeswehr issued Comtac XPI, marked with the Bundeswehr Iron Cross and my favorite 4-letter word on all my pouches. This piece was one of the hardest to find for this loadout. As you can see, I've tucked in the wire into the counterweight just as he does with his. Now, once again, since these photos ranged over at least 2 years, there have been some changes. Originally, it appears he did not run any Peltor adapters. The headset was worn underneath the helmet. Still the same cover, however. In more recent photos, he is now seen with a core survival helmet strobe. Once again, I did not make this change to the kit yet. The majority of his photos were with just the adapters and counterweight. The uniform of any impression is easy to find, as it's only ever a few pieces, and with that, it's correct to the impression. Same can be said for the helmet. There are only so many that are used in most modern day impressions of any unit, which doesn't allow for much customization. Basically, anyone can buy a helmet and a uniform with just ample research. When it comes to the plate carrier, with the sheer number of MOLLE systems, pouches, and private purchase gear out there, sourcing and identifying every pouch for a true one-to-one impression can be a nightmare. But what you're about to see here is arguably one of the most accurate depictions of a German-issued plate carrier available. Introducing the Linnerhof Tactic Gen 5. This plate carrier is a staple in the German milsim and impressionist communities, especially for those doing EGB, KSK, and KSM loadouts. Now, the tan mesh material seen in both the references and the one I have here indicates that this is a genuine issued piece, not the commercial one that's sold online. I've used this across multiple impressions, but this setup hands down is my favorite. Let's start with the front plate bag. Looking at the first reference photo, it's easy to match each pouch. At the very top, we've got a NATO style PTT. Super easy to source since it's used in countless loadouts across all NATO kits. Moving down, I'm running 3 multi-caliber single mag pouches. These are the standard issued ones that come with the Gen 5. On the left too, I have stacked a Blue Force Gear double mag pouch in Coyote, which matches the photo perfectly. To the left of that is a pouch that was a real headache to ID, an older generation LHT pouch originally issued with a Gen 3 carrier. It's designed for shotgun shells. Took me a while to track this one down, but honestly I'm stoked to finally have it. At the bottom, I've attached a Zenturon, Dangler, and Steingrau, and wow, does that look accurate. This alone would have been the stopping point, if not for the side references. This part is much clearer in this reference photo. Starting front to back, you'll see one multi-caliber pouch, this one left empty. I even made sure to add a mini Siloom chem light, just like in the image. Next to that is an upside down double mag pouch. So why upside down? Likely for smoke grenades. Makes deployment a lot easier. Spanning across both of these is the LHT weapons catch, which also helps secure that mag pouch. Moving to the back plate, I included the hydration pack, visible in the reference photo. It looks like he removes it when using an assault pack in other images, so I've left that modular depending on the loadout. Now onto the left side cummerbund. Assuming it's the same soldier, we can spot another multi-caliber pouch up in front. Followed by that, it looks like more chem lights. Easy to source, right? Not exactly. I had to make sure I bought the exact brand, which ended up being Snaplight. With that, the plate carrier was finally complete. Every piece an exact replica. Pain stalking? Definitely. Worth it? Absolutely. Now onto the gloves. These aren't your average mechanics gloves that you'd see in most kits. These come from a Polish company called Direct Action. I absolutely love these gloves. They're super thin and they're extremely kosher because we see these in every single photo. Much like the plate carrier, the belt of any impression opens a ton of possibilities, especially when it comes to privately purchased gear. There's rarely one correct setup. That said, just like the plate carrier, I've cloned this belt in a way I consider almost perfect. Let's start with the base. This is the 2-piece laser cut belt from Tasmanian Tiger. Now this is the older version with the black cobra buckle. Originally, I tried ordering one, but I got the newer model with the coyote colored cobra buckle instead. Thankfully, my buddy came through and sold me his. Starting at the front of the belt, I'm using a black PRL, just like the one seen in the reference photos. Right next to that, I've got 2 pistol mag pouches, followed by another mag pouch with a Coyote 75th tactical dump pouch stacked on top. Next to that is a tagging grenade. This is a stand-in for the Bundeswehr's training grenades, which are, unfortunately, not legally attainable. I do plan on cloning one in the future, but I still need the measurements for that. Until then, this will do as a placeholder. Moving on to the holster setup, I'm using a Blackhawk Serpa CQC mounted on a G-code adapter. I also added the custom leg strap, just like we see in the reference photos. Now, if I had a penny for every piece of gear I got from Amazon, I'd have 2 pennies. Not a lot, but still a weird coincidence considering how accurate this loadout turned to be. The assault pack in these 3 photos is the Miltec Assault Pack. Yeah, I know, there's a lot of stigma around getting tactical gear from Amazon, but honestly, this bag holds up surprisingly well. It doesn't scream a Yukita special, and that's already a win in my book. Now, we're not 100% sure how this guy's using the bag in these photos, but the safe bet is, like most assault packs, carrying extra mags, ammo, that kind of stuff. Personally, I use mine to smuggle a 12-pack of White Monster into Milsim West. Some other small things that helped build out this kit and keep it almost a perfect replica would be the addition of the same exact patch. While I don't actually use this for airsoft or anything, the addition of this for this video and photos documenting this kit makes it almost a perfect replica. Another small thing I wanted to mention was the inclusion of wearing the Gen 5 shoulder pads the wrong way, the same seen in the guy's reference photos. Now this part did actually suck to set up because they aren't made to be used this way, but I made it work. I even made sure to include a little red square designating his squad on my sleeve. When it comes to an accurate German EGB impression from this time period, the correct rifle is a G36, specifically the G36KA4 variant, and guess what? That's exactly what we see in all these reference photos. Right here, I've got a Tokyo Marui NGRS G36, complete with the awesome electric blowback system. On top of that, I've outfitted it with the IDZ project furniture and a custom-made H-key handguard, making this a spot-on clone of the KA4. But of course, I couldn't just stop there. We've also got the proper EOTech EXPS and G33 magnifier, again, just like in all the photos. Another easy detail to check off the list is the LLM01 laser module. For the sling, I went with a classic VTAC sling. Lastly, a small detail I made sure to include was the Bundeswehr pant blouse seen here. The end result is honestly beautiful. Not only is this almost 100% accurate, even with the correct selector switch markings, but it's also functional for airsoft still. The FschJgRgt P8A1 is the official handgun of the Bundeswehr, and evidently, we see it in use by the same EGB soldier as well. Here, I have the P8A1 from Red Wolf Airsoft. Heavily styled off the USP, the Airsoft clone has the same markings as a legitimate P8A1. While there isn't much else to say on it, as both the EGB member and I have left it relatively stock, I did make sure to include the rubber band on the grip that is seen on his. Despite being my most accurate loadout, there are still quite a few changes I would like to make. One of the main problems I ran into is the fact that my reference photos were taken during different training events. With the first set of reference photos being from 2022 and the most recent being 2024, there are quite a few small changes that I try to depict best in this video. However, I still feel like it doesn't do it true justice. So in the future, I will likely be doing individual breakdowns based off just one photo at a time, just to avoid any possible errors. That being said, I do still need to pick up a few more things for this. New UF Pros, a better handguard, the German Special Forces Gator, the list there honestly still exists. Despite these changes being left, I am still very happy and feel that this is truly an accurate depiction. Let me know in the comments what I can change to make it even better though, obviously because I'm not infallible. Wow, you made it to the end. Thank you so much for sticking around. Also, I seriously can't thank these guys enough for everything they've done in helping make this kit as accurate as it is. From tracking down rare parts to identifying things I couldn't. They've been absolutely essential, so definitely go check them out. But they're also not the only ones I'm grateful for. I also want to thank you for watching this video all the way through. Your guys' support has been absolutely incredible, and it truly means the world to me. If you are new here, make sure to check out this video that just popped up on the screen. Trust me, you'll want to click it. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.